Gentlemen, welcome back. It's crypto. It's crypto with the crypto sniper. Yes, indeed. Early one coming at you early because we don't want you to miss it. And our community is getting stacked and ready for what we are saying is going to be a nice little bump out of the Bitcoin. Yes, a little bump is coiling and winding up in our view. A little bit of a bump. It doesn't mean it's straight to extreme pump just yet. But I think it's going to be the beginning of the end for the doomsday and the downside. If you're still bearish, if you're still in stablecoin, you might end up chasing in higher up. You don't necessarily want that. People with high risk profiles may even consider leverage longs because we have structures and patterns that are occurring on some of the alts that might even steal a run on Bitcoin, get a little bit ahead sooner and faster. We told you last time. It sounds like... Happy Days. Who remembers the TV show Happy Days? You'll be giving your age away there with Fonzie. Make like Fonzie. Last time on Happy Days. Fonzie. Yeah, here comes Fonzie. He's reminding you. Last time on Happy Days, we were telling you about Solana, how Solana will be our top pick. And also, we said, have a look at ADA, Ethereum, good, and that Bitcoin will be coiling for a bit of a recovery, but some alts might do a little bit better, a little bit more, a little bit sooner. In other words, kickoff for second half after halftime oranges. That's right. That's what we called it. People saying, no, it's a bear market. It's in. The bull's over. Down to 10 grand, down to 5 grand, down to naught. We heard it all. We're saying no. This was accumulation point. This was an extended accumulation point. It still is. It doesn't mean it's going to just give you one massive green candle straight up right now. But our assessment is that this is the beginning of a couple of upside pops that will start to create some structure where you might get above the 39,000 level again. You might create even on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin and then we'll get into our favorites after that. Let's have a little look at Bitcoin. This is a bigger time frame view. You remember it all. I don't need to recap every time. The head and shoulders, the jump into stablecoin. Down, down, down you go. And here we are right now. This is where we're at right now. And this is what you want to hear about. We'll go into TG Pink. Have you seen those referees in Euro 2020? Now that is TG Pink, man. Boy, oh boy, that is pink like it comes pink. You have to go inside some people's anatomy to see pink like that. Anyway, up you go, and here you go, and this is a marginally lower low. We also said, and I remember drawing it in blue, so I'll get little Pippy Boy Blue as well out, but overall that marginally lower low is the beginning of a bit of a base hunting. What we could get if this does what we think it is and does a little bit of a bump like that, you could revisit levels previously unseen since the bear market. Back up there, you might get a bit of a pullback, relax, a little bit of late FUD, final late FUD, which has very small effect, not nearly the desired effect, that shake a few people out of the cause, and you could then have an inverted head and shoulder, with that being your deep head and that being your left shoulder, and you could have effectively head and shouldered down, and you could end up inverted head and shoulder back up. That's just a scenario of many. That's not a call, that's not a prediction, but this little structure right here that you're seeing over there certainly is short term within the range, still within the range, because it's a recovery range of around 41.5 down to about 29, and you've been churning around there. But I think we're getting up to the upper half. We've been sitting in the lower half largely over here. So if you look at this as a box, you've been in the lower half. I should make this a little bit bigger. Let's focus on that. You all remember this stuff with the falling wedges and the head and shoulders. Let's drop down a time frame. Let's have a look at it, or let's at least make it a bit bigger. So Bitcoin is direction. Bitcoin is direction. It is the God market. The rest can't be licensed to go up unless the God market is recovering, but that doesn't always mean it's the fastest to go up as the biggest market cap. So it's direction. It doesn't mean it should be your natural selection, but you got to remember truck and trailer. You got to get the Bitcoin part of it right on direction. Then you can look at the other tokens. And that is quite important. So you should also do cross token analysis. People don't do that enough. In other words, what's this token doing relative to Bitcoin? Who's set up? And we'll be showing you one example of how and why we do that. So staying on this time frame, even give it a bit more. Let's give it a bit more. Open it up, give it a little bit more. Grubby little mitts. So this was a store box in essence, but it was also hammering out lows. It wasn't a perfect range trading type structure. You've got your 40K down to just sub 30 over like that, and you've been churning in there. More specifically, as I was talking about little boy PP Blue, we were telling you how that was grinding out lower lows, and that typically makes broadening structures, which how trends going up slowly lose their momentum and sometimes then fall down or square up, and how trends going down suddenly start breaking up. So this was not consistent. We only had one moment where it could have been a continuation pattern in there, and we said, look, it can go a little bit lower. We explored for you the possibility of a fourth and fifth leg in the Elliott wave. Once that didn't materialize, broadly, we reversed back and said, okay, it's now taken too long, and this is now forming different kind of structure. It's just needing more time to recover from a brutal sell-off. You don't bounce back from such a very quick, done in short time frame sell-off. Go and have a look at our why you should have time stops video. I think that might have been the Market Sniper. You need to log on to that. That's a trading piece of gold. Why you should have time stops. Free view over there. We've done a much more detailed one for our internal guys. I'm actually going to re-record it with even more stuff and make it even better. Anyway, so if you like all that stuff and you want to learn, click the link below. Usual stuff. You can book a call and you can have a chat too. Someone just like you who joined our community a number of years ago and has become proficient in HVF method. Bitcoin is direction. What is it doing? What is the direction saying? This is what it is doing, and this is what it's saying to me. We're going to drop a time frame and have a little look at it. If this materializes, people will start to feel better. By the way, can I just remind you of the misery index? Yesterday, when Bitcoin was having ups and downs, extreme fear 20. This is perfect time, guys. The social media streams and everybody. Yesterday, 20. Of course, it traded a bit up overnight and this morning, so it's at 28. But that is still a fear reading. Fear. Fear, we're all going to die. Maxine's going to kill us. Okay, that's the story in here, and it's kind of like that in crypto at the moment as well. That's when you've got to be brave, you've got to be bold. People are all a little bit, what if Elon tweets? No, his effectiveness has gone. He's been used as he was needed to be used. The hard, weak sellers have all been selling out. That effect has been taken into account. You don't really need to stress so more. So this point of fear, fear is a perfect sentiment to have as we are setting up a little bit of a squeezy Japanesey. God bless the Japaneses. I need to go to Japan and find a little Japanese lady to squeeze so that we can have a little special moment for our catchphrase there. I wonder if they'll cooperate with a big bald blue-eyed guy comes and suggests contouring the shop frontage with a little cuddle. I don't know. I think their sense of decency might be offended. What do you think? Your comments below on how we should get a little bit of footage for squeezy Japanesey. Anyway, this little fella, nice first impulse, nice second impulse, a little bit hard on the downstroke, there, but keeps drifting back up, very light and moderate volume. This is the nature of the game right now. Everybody in a bit of moepic misery, non-direction. There's no money being made broadly. People that are leverage trading, many of them will be dropping and just chasing futile events. There are times to harvest and there are times to sow. This was not a harvesting season. Don't try harvest in non-harvesting season. It's like being in the middle of summer in a dust bowl and you're looking for your potatoes. You can't dig it up. The grapes aren't going to be full of juice. They're still only vines. They need the sun. They need more rain. They need more stuff. You had a harvesting season. If you didn't execute properly on it, you can't fix it by trying to make a new harvesting season until the next cycle comes around. And that's what this bear has done. But this is buoyant. This is buoyant, and this is going to, within the range, point to, in my overall opinion, a breakout. It could come immediately, could drift back off a little bit, but overall, the likelihood is that we're going to be seeing numbers above 37,000 again, which you haven't seen in a while. You've been sitting here in the kind of 32,900, 32,500 roundabout to the 35,000 mark, 32 to 35. It's going to be nice to be well north of 37 again, maybe 38, and pushing on for that 41.5 that I showed you would potentially be a neckline. The 41.5 could potentially be a neckline for a reversal. You might get a little bit of pushback. It doesn't mean Bitcoin is about to moonscape to the 170 type level that we've said could be a future target at the 2.618s and the 120s. That would be at the 1.618s if we have our next leg up, which, by the way, will be a bigger leg than the other leg. You get more parabolic and it gets more crazy in the second half. That's what typically happens. So the best is yet to come. We give you good news in this totalitarian world, as you're about to have your summer lockdowns imposed on you, we predict. But we bring you good news. We bring you good news. You're going to be a richer slave if you know what to do. And here's what you got to do. You got to trust that the God market's first got to signal it. Then you got to find the best runner out of the lot. And we gave you soul. Yes, have you got soul? Are you a soul brother? I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. That was the Killers from Vegas. I quite enjoyed them. I don't know what's happened to them. Do they still write? We don't know. We don't know. So this is what's happened to soul. Yes, you can thank us if you took soul, and you are currently up today by hitting the like and giving us one retweet. That's all we need. That's all we need. And we're happy to show up and give it to you again and again and again. Give us one like and hit the retweet. We appreciate that. YouTube don't love us. We don't put adverts on our things. We don't need their poxy little money. No, we don't want it. We say naughty things. We would get into trouble. Ask the reset sniper about that. He ain't allowed no more. He bad. He just plain bad. He got to go to the bad playground somewhere else in Odyssey. All our YouTubes are on Odyssey. You can follow us on Odyssey. You can get the same on Odyssey. You'll get all Market Sniper, all Crypto Sniper, plus Reset Sniper. So there you go. Odyssey, decentralized. This is the game, guys. Decentralized, time to decentralize. The censorship is coming. Anyway, back into this little fractal. You can see you got your pop. Is Solana giving you the way for Bitcoin? Remember, they often have an early runner. Ada was an early runner in a previous bull when we were way back still in South Africa. And we said it's now the alt's turn. Remember, Bitcoin dominance, and everyone else was chasing alts. We kept you in Bitcoin, and then the time came. Ada was the first to start stirring, and it went really, really strong. Then it rolled into ETH and all the others. Solano. We gave it to you. Have a soul on me. By the pool. They're only allowed to be drunk by the pool. Preferably close to buck naked. Surrounded by 10 Russian women and a soul. By the pool. That's the strict instructions for consumption of soul. Anything else is absolute, I don't know, you need to be sacrificed culturally if you're not drinking it properly. It's an absolute outrage to not take on the event in the full spirit. Here we go. That's the structure that you get with soul. The key point we made about soul is that it didn't make a lower low here when all the others turned into falling wedges. In other words, the second strike really was hard. The second strike was really hard. That was the Bitcoin from the right shoulder, smashing it right the way down to sub 30K. That's right, it did that all the way 59. That was the hard leg. You had to first out of the rising wedge head down to the neckline. You had your rally, then that second smash. The second smash is the third leg because you have one down, one rally, and then a down. In Elliott, it'll always be. It was a perfect 1.618. We showed you that. Remember, picture the scene, look into my eyes, fantasize, ladies only, sorry. Okay, so we're back here. And we're telling you this guy showed relative strength by not making a new low. It showed relative strength by not making a new low in a bear market when everything was ugly sinners. And here you go, you've had your squeeze and it's moving up. So it's showing relative strength and it's running early. Now people say, I don't want to chase it. I don't want to get that one. I'll get one of the later, slower ones that hasn't realized that the gun's been fired. This is the logic I face. When you're training people and you're teaching people and you're going, and you just have to keep shaking your head and going, dish, 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 dish. Always be in the alert, ready to go one. Even if it means you're getting a bit later, you usually do better. That's why. It goes first for a reason. It was stronger here relatively because there's fundamental reasons. There are people with real money holding it up there in the worst environment. Guess what? There's a reason. Over here, it's squeezing higher and it's rallying higher than your favorite shitcoin. Even DOT is heavy down there. It's still low down there. Despite having a good day today. overall, this one has reinflated better and gone right the way up here. So you have real structure, real structure for Solana, which is looking at taking you through into, I think it was the 70s that we calculated. You can find out how to do more and how you can get the targets, how you can get your stops, your entries. We do it all. And why we do cross analysis. So if Bitcoin's going to have a bump up, how's Sol going to do relative to Bitcoin? This is the $1 million question, and why you should do cross market analysis, 360 degree analysis. We wipe our face, we take the lines away, and funnily enough, we see this. We see this. Don't get too big there. We see this indeed, and this is the Sol pattern against Bitcoin. Look at that for squeezy Japanese. I should squeeze 10 little Japanese ladies after they've walked on my back with their tiny feet. That little primer. Yes, sir. Like that. Squeeze within a squeeze. Guess what? A major gift. You should have been in earlier. You're late. Doesn't matter. You're late because you watch this channel is actually early for everybody else. That's the difference. You've got to be in early where you can grab a really tight risk and get an expansive reward. It's a game. It's called volatility. That's what we trade. And you've got to understand everything that goes with it, including falling wedges, rising wedges, how they might transpire, primers, which are little fractals inside bigger fractals. You can learn a lot and you can implement it. And you can get wealthier than those around you that are making all the basic errors. This is outperformance, Solano, and it is a structure that is powerful. Go and look at all the others across Bitcoin. You don't get quite the same. It hangs a bit heavier. And if you want to know what we mean by hanging heavy, you can just get yourself a fib and you can draw it across here from the high to the low and pull it all across. Can you see throughout this bear market period that in actual fact, we funneled between the 50 and the 61.8%. That's that over there. Funneling. You can learn all about funneling. This new language we created. Funneling. There's the one that's most of interest. And that little pop, even though it's not super big, is innocuous. It's ahead of Bitcoin. It's earlier than Bitcoin. It's gone up relative to Bitcoin. It has macro structure that is indicating it's going to overperform, and hence you should be in it. You should be in it. That's right. We use FTX. Great for buying spot, trading perps and futures, collateral, better wallet management than Binance. I absolutely hate it. We have a link below. You can grab it. If you use my link, I say greatly thank you, and I appreciate it. They give me some sort of acknowledgement. I understand. It's a great platform. I use it. So I'll only ever push something I use. If I buy gold, it's from people that I buy gold from. By the way, PureGold. Remember, don't forget your silver bar. Go get your silver bar and your gold bar. There's something coming there as well. Don't just be a crypto peep. Remember, crypto can sell off hard. You've just experienced it. Isn't it nice to have a few things that are still there the next day? Physical, that's right, it is. If you make a mistake, and you can and you will, even with good training, you can still be human. You can have an off day. You cannot be concentrating. So beware. Don't go all in. Don't lose your head. Leverage trading. I have a few leverage longs, but I'm high risk and I know a little bit about what I'm doing. You've got to be careful. Your stops can be run. We could have a reversal. There could be a final little bit of FUD. But my personal feeling is, with this run of Sol already being a little bit of an early runner, Bitcoin winding up for a little pop, the optimism is actually going to be coming back into crypto. Be first, be early on those things. Don't be so early that you're calling it while it's still a bear market, but when you're getting small time frame setups that are actually beginning to build into larger base moves, this is real optimism. And I think that down based hammering out is largely complete. Good. What does Axion about to pop full bags now? Someone shilling Axion. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen the chart. I'm retired from Hex, so we got some Hexicans in the house. The big pulse split is coming. What do you guys think? Ethereum fork, the whole Ethereum and all of ERC20. It's a big thing. Why not consider participating? I'm holding a lot of Ethereum myself as well, which I'm keeping in a MetaMask wallet so that we can get a split. Let me buy some Theta from you. Word on the street is you took most of it off the exchange. Someone thinks I'm a Theta whale. No, not got any Theta right now, thank you. Talk about Bitcoin, please. Yes, well, I thought we were just doing that. Bitcoin and Solana. The main message is Bitcoin and Solana. Bitcoin is God market. Bitcoin is direction. We've looked at it. We've looked at the short time frame. That is the time frame on Bitcoin that it is giving something. On a bigger time frame, which encapsulates the entire bear market, we are talking about Solana. You might not want to hear about Solana. Well, you might want to wish you heard about it in time. That captures the whole bear market. That right there was your rising wedge head sell on the Bitcoin market down. That was then the right shoulder triggering event sell down there. You failed to make new lows while Bitcoin was making new lows. That was at just through the 30K Bitcoin at that point. This was at the 47.5, the neckline. Something else was showing more strength than Bitcoin. That should interest you. That should interest you. The reflation and now the move up. It is in a technical pattern. We will say to you, you'll probably run 0.0018. It's going to go from around about 0.09% of a Bitcoin to 1.8. So less than 1% to 1.8. Now you might say, what does that mean? That's a double performance. It's like you get twice the upside, and it happens quickly because it's a breakout and an HVS structure. Hence why we talk about time stops and getting your money returned to you sooner. Look at that baby. Watch him while he goes. Yep. Yes, I have some hex. I am officially then a Hexican. I'm also a Solanian, an Ethereum and Bitcoinium and a few others. So I'm not just a one-horse guy. Is there a wedge forming on BTC one day with low volume? So we can go back to the Bitcoin chart, which all of you love and want to talk about. We're just sub 35,000. Is there a wedge? So if you want to know about wedges and the mix in the blood basement, as I call it, this is the Fibonacci and the lows where we have been constrained while we've been hammering out our issues. We've had quite a few wedges. We've had a rising wedge over there, which you broke down out of. That led to a falling wedge over there, which you broke into a channel out of. Then you collapsed out of the channel, and this is where you are, and that set up your HVF. Those are wedges. These are channels that we've had at various occasions, which lead to down legs, upside channels that lead to down legs. You had a little bit of a rounded top there and possibly a head and shoulder over there. So we can hyper-analyze that, but it doesn't matter. It brings us to where we are now, and where we are now is what does it do from here inside the time frame that is below 4 hours, I would say the 1 hour and the 2 hour. What is that going to do? If, like me, you think you might just drift around here and then the next significant move is something like that, then you will feel quite happy. It's quite simple. The mathematics is you were around about 36.6 and the low was about 32.7. So it's about $4,000, and $4,000 onto your 34 is going to take you around about through the 38,000 by the time it's done. So that should see you over here. That's actually 39,000, by the way. That's not entirely right. 32 to 36. Yeah, it's 4,000. I think I did the maths right there. 4,000 onto that's going to be about 38 and a half. So you'll run through there and you'll start getting into this range, which is why, as I say, you could have a revisit to these levels before you have a small rest. The 41 is a key level. So 47.5 will be another key level, but that comes later. We might have to deal with 41. It's shown as quite a resistant point. If we look at this, so our Bitcoin fans, that's exclusively Bitcoin, our Bitcoin maxis, you have had a bit of follow-through selling there. So those were two very clear events where traded at that. That was a snapback bounce that brought you in there. And you possibly could go back up where you start to test the upper region of the stall box. If that's the whole stall box, you get in this zone here. Whether we clear it later, I think we will, but I don't think it'll be in one go. I think you'll go up a bit, you'll start getting into this high level, then we'll get a bit of pushback and we'll start churning. But this time, instead of churning in the lower half, we'll start churning in the upper half of the entire box range. And that's consistent with that descending gray line I've drawn you there, with hammering out lows, then hanging heavy, and then slowly working your way back up. So that is the Bitcoin analysis around wedges and other things. By the way, we did also say to you, ETH. Yes, we said FBTC in time will form interesting structure. So I just want to recap a few things. Something actually I was discussing with the premium community, the community this morning, and that I elect to remind you of. We said when at 2.5% of a Bitcoin, when Ethereum was 2.5 of a Bitcoin, we called the first upside HVF. We also said there is a macro inverted head and shoulders that has a 6, and that seems ever so far away. This purple line, 66,599, running all the way through here. You can see that line. We said Ethereum will trade through that and potentially overperform a bit, but that's going to be a key target. After key targets, you typically have pullbacks. You typically have pullbacks before going higher because the trend is macro, and you've had halftime first oranges that we were talking about. In our opinion, it's not a bear market, it's a major setback in halftime. You have a rest and then you go out for the second run. The second run is bigger and better. So what do we expect? In the longer term, we expect more progress of Ethereum against Bitcoin. And in actual fact, we even went so far as to suggest to you in previous editions of Happy Days with Fonzie and his glasses, we did say you could start accumulating Ethereum in a box round about here when we were in the down leg coming down. Round about there. That's turned out not too bad. You did go lower than we thought. You went very close. On some, you actually traded slightly below, but you've been supported essentially there. And since then, you've rallied quite strongly up. So that is the Ethereum. That is Ethereum. And by the way, we, as HVF method traders, highlight that many consolidations occur at key levels of significance, aka the big macro target, and they run through the price level, not at the extreme. Support and resistance guys are watching at the tops and the bottoms, and we say the key level runs through the price behavior, and you're tightening up and you're winding up at a previous legacy target of many years making, 2.5 years of bull bear market that saw Ethereum collapse against Bitcoin all the way down, right shoulder, head, up, and create a right shoulder, and then break and make the inverted head and shoulder target. So Ethereum is also a good hold in terms of the alts. If you're a bit scared by chasing into Solana, it's a smaller cap token. It's still a pretty big token. It's in the top 15. Where is it now? I think it must be about 11, knocking on the door. Prediction, Solana comes into the top 10. And not necessarily just number 10. I think it's going to creep a little higher. So we'll have to see who might drop out. Let's have a look. Here's your CoinMarketCap. Refreshing. Talk to me, CoinMarketCap. By the way, Nomics also exists and will include Hex for the Hexicans. And is considered by some a better measure. So there are a couple of opinions out there. So number 10, Uniswap, which we like actually. Polkadot is sitting at 9 and has been a little bit disappointing. Fiat, bloody stablecoin tokens everywhere. We got USDT, USDC, and Binance is offering in there, and Solana at 12. So 12 at around 10 billion, very close to Binance token. 3 billion shy of Uni, so there's quite a big jump to get 3 billion more. So it's going to have to do fairly well for quite a bit, but I think it's going to make it in there. And there's overperformance possibilities because these are first structures in a new trend. We've just had a bear season. You think bears are bad? Actually, they give you gifts because they see you be fresh for the next bull. Instead of being stale bulls that are limping on, you're a fresh bull. Fresh bulls, overperformance options exist. In other words, you could power quite strongly. So it still has a chance, Solano, but it's going to have to get past a couple of stable coins. I don't think Uniswap's going to shed its position so much, but Polkadot would have to underperform. It's a good 6 billion more than Solano, so maybe it battles to get into the top 10. It's a bit of a gap, but it could close that gap substantially. Maybe it makes it in. We'll see. We will see. What about you guys? What do you say? Yes, Francis, Nomics, indeed. Nomics, so easy here. I have them both somewhere. You pop them in, and a good check and an alternative check for your market cap calc. And it has the big N and looks something like that. And there's the reason why that man is cheering. The one thing that is a very important point is tightly held tokens go up faster. Liquidity is not conducive to maximal appreciation. In game theory, you will find that all out. So liquidity is not. You want things bid up with low liquidity. Bigger moves can occur. Where is Solano there? It's at number 13 instead of 12, but otherwise pretty similar. Doggy is in the mix there. Ripple's in the mix. Yep, so there's no mix for you. What else have you guys got for me? Anyone else shorting AXS? No idea about it. Can you talk about Ripple? Yes, we have mentioned Ripple, so we will talk about it. It's in our top 5-ish of possible plays as well. It's banker token, we know it. But with this SEC thing, it does create an opportunity. So we switch over to the Ripple chart. We like this little structure. You can see that it hasn't had the benefit of being stronger relatively following the selling legs. That was the head and shoulder, the smackdown from the head on Bitcoin to the neckline, and that was the smackdown from the neckline to the new low. Ripple did make new lows. We did tell you last time that it is indeed a falling wedge as well. It's not the best line. Let's draw it again. That's the line I wanted. The one I want. Doesn't perfectly. You sometimes need your log scale. These are slightly big things. When and how to use log scale. Important note for you all. Big hyperbolic moves, big corrections with slightly large time frames is the rule. We are in log scale. We're already there. Okay, so I was already there. Little bit of a, not a perfect one. It was a bit flat here. You didn't quite get across the other side there with this draw. It could be that I should be drawing it like that, in which case you have already come out. So if I'd stuck to the principle of finding 3 touches, ideally, you always want 2 touches is thin. You know, 2 points for a line. It's not too onerous. So you would say that trimming edge over there, in which case you've already popped out of the wedge and you are winding up. We quite like the low time frame wind up on this one. So this little fractal is quite well liked. And we think with Bitcoin resolving to the upside, so too this will. Which one might overperform? Tough. Because I don't think BTC is going to do too bad, and it is the God market. So if we have a look at XRP BTC, that current candle is a little bit off, but it's still in play, so we can't make too much of a bone about it. But you have a flatter wedge. In fact, the top is off screen. I need to bring it back in. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be wrong on either. You just get the wild card of the legal case, which could work both ways, by the way. It doesn't have to be bullish. My suspicion is that that will be very bullish for overall crypto, in actual fact. I think during these times, SEC involvement and things like that are not welcome. Even if you're not a fan of the token, seeing a token like Ripple not get bunged, it's not necessarily going to be, is going to be generally good for crypto generally. It means the SEC will be under a harder burden of proof before they start pointing fingers and doing damage. So that would be generally better for it. That's not a perfect splitter either. That's better line. So let's take that other one off. That's also not perfect. But yeah, I would say it's a bit iffy. It's kind of even. It's there or thereabouts. Ripple, there or thereabouts. I prefer actually on the... they're both going to pop, I would imagine, to the upside. And I think it'll be pretty close. And then when you count the liquidity, you might want to go Bitcoin. The Bitcoin HVF on the short time frame is pretty good. Just for the Hexicans, we'll check in what Hex is doing. Whoops, not that one. There you go. Yep, going quite nice. A little bit of a rising wedge though. Small amount of rising wedge structure coming in here. This was a great trade, by the way, taking off on this little one. I did take some off, I have to confess. And then a little bit came off. And now a little bit of a rising wedgie there. Probably make a secondary high in and around these target lines. So you have the big 1 cent over there. So that'll tell for those are Hex fans. Okay. What else can we check? So we've done Ripple. We've looked at Hex. We've looked at BTC. We've shown you Solano. Solano. Alerts. BTC USD. Are we seeing the move right here, right now? I knew I had to do this live stream pretty quick because we felt it was going to do. We want to bring you good news. We are your friends bearing gifts of good news. And for that, you avoid hitting the like and you give us multiple shares. 501 people. So that's a little tweak warning that we're working our way up to the upside. This is a key level for me. Still in the blood basement. You can see the background is red. But it is on a 15-minute. I can go up to the hour there. That's where we're looking. Working our way up. Yes. Dump your fiat, kiddies. The show's going to come back. The second half could be kicking off. They're warming up on the sidelines. Oi, oi, oi. Stretching me thigh. Getting ready. It's the Euros. The finals at Wembley. We got to do that super spreader Delta Lambda variant thing new for the MSM. Yep, indeed. So that they can lock us down for the rest of summer because we watch some football. So we better get the Bitcoin started because those lads are going to have nothing to do locked up in their mom's basements apart from trading the crypto. Yep, that's right. Other questions. Let's see what you guys got. Patrick says 500 people, only 178 likes. So many people that are just wallflowers. They just look with bemusement and say, I shall do nothing. Lay it on for me. Serve me. I serve you not. That's what Patrick says. Pump those likes. Yep. LTC or BNB. So we did a quick flyby BNB, didn't we? Or was that earlier this morning with my community? My brain is mush. We did a quick flyby on BNB. It's picking up nicely. It did set up structure of its own. It's got ahead. The third impulse was more like, this was a key level for our friend BNB. This is a log scale again, but if we did regular, you'd probably see the 312 was a key level. So you can draw lines. I think this is going to be a performer. Always. It's a bit of a fan. Good structure here. Squeezed up, the buying kept coming up underneath it, and you popped. So it's a goodie. I will say Binance token generally is a goodie. It did get hit rather hard on the downside, so it's got a bit of catch-up recovery to do. If you go up to the bigger time frame, it did take the 10 count just about, or at least the 9 count on the bear market. So go back to the 4 hourly and you'll see it didn't enjoy the sell-off period. But it did okay. You see that sell-off? It's quite extensive. And the bounce was a little low slung. So you remember what I did for you on Solano. There's your full range. There's your high up top there. There's your low. Your full bounce was only about 38, 40%. So in terms of the Fibbo, remember Solano, 50 to the 61.8 on that range. Do the same. It's got a bit of catch up, and I can probably do it. It might even make up more now than some of the others in terms of that catch up, but it was a bit flat in the initial stages of responding to the bull. See that? It's only crept out over the blood basement. The token I gave you is sitting in here and is breaking out. Little pippy, pop, to the upside in green. That's right. Who doesn't like a little green pippy? I'd rather not mine turn green. Okay. Waza is back. Yeah. Oh, Waza. Be original. Yeah. Long on England, says Sebastian. Good luck. That's good luck. The Italians look a better technical team, although Spain was better than them last night and most of it. Penalty shootouts. Yeah, what a thing. Okay, so we've covered Binance token. You should also look at it against Bitcoin as well when you're doing an analysis. And it's starting to want to do what our friend just did, Solano. So I think it's going to go up and over. It's going to give you a very nice structure. So in time, Binance is going to be pretty awesome, I think, when it finishes this process. convexity, rounded bottom. Yeah? Concavity, my apologies. Concave, convex is that. Rounded top. We got half a convex. And then we just peed right off the roof when we got to the very top. So this is kind of rounding out, but there was a little bit of complexity and a little attempt to hold on. Rising wedge, spiller, concavity, and making its way up. A nice little, probably on this legacy HVF here that saw us call Binance long. Remember, in the death of the bull market, still kept you long in the Binance. Binance was doing very, very well. We kept you long. And then the target was made. Did you get out at the target? That's why you get out at targets. That right there. So you were at better part of 0.12 to Bitcoin. And then by the time you woke up, you were back down at 7,000. 0.07. That's quite a lot. You gave up 5. You have kept 7. That's almost a halvening. It's almost a halvening. When you catch the downside, don't catch the elevator. I'm trying to keep you on the escalator up. Beware of the elevator down. It can take a lot away from you in a short time. That's why you have targets. That's why you have method. You see that? Binance token against Bitcoin. Get out. Get out. Otherwise, boom. So that funnel was significant. You might round out for a third high here. Third high. Perfect. Little bit of easing. We'll come back and we will gobble it up on a major, and then Binance kills it to the upside again, like it was doing to the left here. But you'll get a target, and I warn you, get out. You won't listen. You're relying on us. Those of you that are smart and recognize that there's some value to make taking money off the table or pivoting out of tokens that have lost their main impetus will hit the link below and book a call and have a chat with us. And it is being shared right now by my amazing support team, sitting there in the wings in fast cars, waiting to serve you. Burger and fries, no problem. Quick link to book a call, no problem. You name it. Get you a Rolex, get you a Lambo, no problem. Just make the money in crypto, it'll all fall into your lap. That's a bit of sizzle bullshit. But how you enjoying? How you guys doing? What else do you want? Litecoin, he says. Litecoin, he says. Litecoin, he says. And then tiny shitcoins. See, I'll stay away from the shitcoin brigade that are super small. You should be with the big major caps generally. Yes, 1 or 2 really tiny ones can. Supermoon if it comes back. If they've got a hopium media splurge and it's super restricted and they're sitting on 80% of the token and they're only issuing 5 or 10% and will release the rest in bits and pieces. Yeah, but you shouldn't be playing there. That's the long and short of it. So I'll do Litecoin as our final. But I will remind you that Solana and Bitcoin are looking great. Ethereum is a good hold for you, and that's where you should be focused. Litecoin, looky likey, the old term, the old school. I don't think the old school are going to be particularly... Oh, that's terrible, man. Come on, guys. Come on. Of course it's going to have a pop, but it's as flat as a pancake. Look how this baby bounced. That is one dead crust of a cat. That is like a cat that's been ridden over by the steamroller, left in the sun for a good 6 months. The Arizona sun baked into this biscuit with a flattened expression, and you smack your mate over it like a piece of cardboard. You drop that out of a high building, and that's the bounce you get. Right there. Come on. Don't marry the old girl. She's old. She's haggard. Her breasts are hanging down here. She doesn't even have her own teeth, mate. And she smells of nicotine. Let her go. Let her go. The new world is here. Have a soul by the pool. Get something bouncy with a little bit of zing in her tail. Let the old haggard girl take the Maxine and keel over. That's all I can say. Looking as flat as a pancake. But will it go up? Yes, it will go up. And you'll say, you see, you were wrong. No, all of crypto will go up. But this is flat. This is flat, flat, flat. No balls. In the tough times, not to be seen. You say, come out and keep my back. The man in the pub wants to beat my face. He's gone. He's run off to his car and left you to take a beating. That's Litecoin. He's not your mate. It's an old bag. It's an old bag. I don't like her no more. She's got to show some stuff. And she ain't showing no stuff. Technically, that is as dead cat crusty as you get. I'm not interested. Why are you still watching him? Go away. come back with a new, fresh-faced coin with lots of vigor and modernity. The old school, it's over. So he says BCH. So having just done Litecoin, someone's going to say, and BCH, please? And you're expecting a huge difference, aren't you? You're expecting a huge difference. Okay, let's go. I think it will be moderately better. If that, but moderately only. Let's see how BCH did. Now, there's developments going on there. I have heard a bit of renaming, but also pretty caca. The falling wedge on these, the second impulse, is absolutely awful. Still, these are old Haggerty old bags. They want to take your money off you. They're gold diggers. They smell of nicotine. They're ex-hookers that can no longer make a real honest existence. And now they want you. And you're fishing. You're shopping. You're window shopping. The granny's lot. The bad granny's lot. Flat. Not interesting. Will it go up? Yes, it'll go up. If Bitcoin and all crypto goes up, is it going to go up more and more proportionately than Solana? No. Stick with the best. Stick with the best. Stick with the best. Okay. Guys, thank you very much for popping on. Book a call. Become part of the community. Your second half is looking like it could be getting ready to commence. The band is out, playing the halftime tunes. They're warming up on the sidelines, and have you got ready? I don't know. The Bears are telling you it's extreme fear. Be afraid. Have fear in your veins. Look, bear in mind, it's all on balance of probabilities. If Bitcoin has a small move up, it can also later have a dip back down. As we were clear, Bitcoin is God market. We will finish on it one more time so that everybody is clear. If it were to have a sell-off, a final little rollover after doing an upside break, we'd be wrong. If it broke to the downside instead of to the upside, and we can be 180 degrees wrong. If we're wrong, we are utterly wrong. I mean, like badass wrong. You'll all be coming to mock all the small-minded ones, especially. If this comes all the way down, goes flat, it could turn out into, and then a very weak little bounce, it could turn out into a downside. Do I think that's happening? I don't feel that, but we'll watch it. I mean, it's on the high side now. If it starts to come down real hard, this was a little bit hard on the come down. If it came down super hard and was lying heavy here, we might have to do a full 180-degree pivot, and that's a virtue, a feature, not a mistake. By the way, that's a virtue, a feature. We're going to keep telling you that. The small-minded will go, no, stick to your guns. You're flip-flopping. Yeah, flip a burger. No, they're stupid. They don't understand trading. It's not about being right. It's about not losing money, managing your losses, and making good when you are accurate. And if it ain't, and if the facts change, changing your opinion. Okay, so you got all that. Could still happen. A little bit of a shooting star now, so it doesn't look like Bitcoin's about ready to break. Solana is already though, and it could be that the alts will pull the rest of the market up, but Bitcoin is your God market. It's not confirmed until he breaks. So you might ease a little bit. You might get a chance to get in. Limit orders are your friend on the pullback with Solana if Bitcoin has a slight easing back into the range. So there will be opportunities for the bold. And you need to be bold when everyone else is in fear. You need to be fearful when everyone else is bold. That is the nature of trading. Good, good, good. Thank you for the thumbs up. 272. We truly appreciate it. 497 of you won. Book a call if this makes sense to you and you want to learn how to be method trading. You don't want to miss out. The best thing you can do to ensure you maximize the second half of Crypto Bull is to be in our community, riding and pivoting into the best tokens at the key moments. It's not hyperactive day trading. It's common sense, 360-degree, ongoing analysis, multiple webinars, not just with myself, updates in media, almost daily, sometimes 3 times a day on the big moments, 5 times if it's huge. Other HVF proponents, so you don't just hear my voice, you hear many others in the community. Chat with smart people. We have all the best people, because they are smart, they have money, and they want to learn and they want to grow. If you want to maximize this second half of crypto that could be wealth changing, it's a good place to start. Do we guarantee it? No. You're going to have an experience. Is there going to be highs and lows? Yes. But if you are positioning now as you're getting a bit of a good, you're starting at a good season. You're starting at a potential harvesting season. That means you will probably eat instead of just plow and sweat. And that's what bear in markets are often like, and that's what people sometimes buy. But you will get an experience, and it won't only be happy days. So you will learn. We will see you if that's you. If you're not, just enjoy the free view, do what you can. Remember, not advice, be safe with leverage. Limit orders are your friend. Always have stops if you're involving leverage. And this is going to change. The financial system, the great reset is here. Cryptos will be a big part of it. We'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye for now.